And welcome back, everyone, here to Weir High School. Don Brooks, Adam Gore, Jeff Edwards down on the field tonight, bringing you our sideline footage as we get set for 1A football playoff action here tonight. This is round one of the playoffs. The Vardaman Rams with a record of 10-1 on the season. The Weir Lions 9-2 on the year. They lost to Carthage and they lost to Durant. Vardaman's only loss was at home to Smithville about midway through the season. Vardaman, the number 3 seed out of Warren 1A. Weir is the number 2 seed out of 2 1A. And Vardaman's going to get the football to open this football game. They're wearing the white with the blue headgear and the blue trousers. Weir in their solid red uniforms with the big W across the white helmet. We're going to get this one underway, and it's going to be a short kick, and the whistles are going to blow it dead before it ever gets underway. Well, I'm not sure that they ever signaled it ready for play there, Adam.
That's just kind of the way you want to start off a ball game, especially this early in the playoffs.
We're high atop the Weir press box tonight, and guys, if you've ever been down here, and it's about like a ship. This sucker shakes back and forth, and we're just thankful that the wind's not blowing very strong here tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you might look like my camera work's not too good tonight, but I promise you this is how noticeable this press box is swaying.
We had to climb an old circular, like a circular staircase just to get up here, and turned around and around, so it's quite an interesting experience down here at Weir, but it should be a good viewpoint from high atop here tonight. A good, strong crowd making the trip down from Vardaman tonight on a cool night. Around 50 degrees. Should be a great night for football. Kicking it off here for Weir will be Fred Parrish, and Parrish kicks it straight down the middle of the field. Pierce is going to take it at the 22. Pierce brings it right back up the middle, across the 45, spins his way up to the 49-yard line. An excellent return that time by Melvin Pierce, and so the Rams are going to have excellent field position to open this first drive of the night.
Well, I'll tell you what, Don, now we're going to be interested to see what Vardaman does offensively. As we know, Horton did have that ankle injury against Caroline City, so we'll see how well he runs or what kind of changes Coach Bray have made to the offense.
Your quarterback, of course, is Brian West, number 17, the sophomore. Horton does start the ball game along with Mims in the backfield. Pierce comes wide to the near side, or to the far side, Berry to the right. Offset out of the left, and they're going to give to Horton. Horton looking up the middle, has got some running room. Horton to the 45, down to the 42. He's close to a first down. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short for Greg Horton.
Well, Don, looking at the way he run there, he sort of gingerly cut that time, but either way it goes, as you said, he picked up a lot of real estate, and he did pick up the first down that time for the Rams. So I tell you what looks to be sort of a slow Horton, he's still getting the job done.
Horton, who leads the state in scoring with 29 touchdowns on the year. Picking up right where Odie Armstrong left off last year. Penalty markers on the play before it gets going, and so we have some movement up along the line against somebody. So let's see what we have. Offsides against Weir. That'll be a Vardaman first down. So a 5-yard penalty will mark it down to the 37-yard line.
And once again, those early game mistakes, people think, it's already in the game, it won't be that big of a factor. But when you play a team like Vardaman, you just don't really help them out as much as you can. You want to take it and really cut down on your mistakes, because Vardaman's the type of team that'll make you pay for them early.
First and 10 for the Rams at the line, 37-yard line. I formation here for the Rams. West up under center. 4-man defensive front for Weir. They run the option to the left. First man through is Mims. Not much running room as he gets to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 2 on the play for Jason Mims. It'll be second down and 8.
Well, that's that Weir defense we know about, Don. They're a good defense, and that time able to get to Mims early.
It'll be very difficult to run up the middle against them. They're led by one of the top defensive tackles in the state in Markel McKinley, number 99. Second down and 8. Going to give it to Horton. Horton cuts it back inside, picks up a couple down to the 33-yard line. And it will bring up a third down. Don't see McKinley in there right now. We've heard a lot about number 99. I'm not sure if he's injured or suspended or what, but I do not see him in the game at this time, unless he's wearing another number that we don't know about.
Well, Don, I'm guessing he's probably switched to number 52 because that's really the only guy you think that being that big would actually stand out that much.
3rd down and 6 for the Rams at the 33-yard line. They give it to Horton. Horton's going to be hit in the backfield and dropped. Coming through that time, number 4, Torano Worthy. Worthy got through, got good penetration and hit Horton in the backfield. Back at the 37-yard line. It'll be a loss of 4 on the play. 4th down and 10. And the Rams are going to have to punt, I would think, here.
Absolutely. You know, Don, this early in the ball game, you got to pick up on your blocks. And that time, number 4 just come through untouched, unscathed whatsoever. I don't think anybody even knew where he'd come from until Horton was on the ground.
Rams are going to punt it away. Long will drop back to the 50 to do the kicking. Try to pin Weir down deep here, and it's an excellent high spiral, and they're going to let it go. It hit a Weir player. Ball's loose at the 10-yard line. Let's see who got it. And no signal yet. I think they're going to give it to Weir. Weir did recover, so a huge break that time for the Lions. That ball bounced up and hit a Weir player in the shins, and it was loose down at about the 10-yard line, but the red and white did recover it. And Adam, definitely, 52 is definitely Markel McKinley, because I look in the program, and 52 is listed as Scott Abbott at 5'5", 155, so that's definitely not him.
Well, they're trying to throw the rope-a-dope on him, I guess, switching numbers there. But when you do that, you need to switch somebody that might be a little bit more closer to height.
Quarterback for Weir is number 12, Shamon Hoskins. He was the quarterback last year when they came to Vardaman. Very good running quarterback. They give it to the fullback, and he is stacked up after maybe a yard or two. Charles Dosher, number 39, was the ball carrier. Pickup of 1, it'll be 2nd down, 9 yards to go.
That time, a good job by the defensive line of Vardaman, number 45, just come in the hole that time and stopped him from the get-go and wouldn't let go.
2nd and 1, they run the option to the near side. Hoskins has a little bit of running room. He gets across the 15 out to about the 17. Making the tackle that time for the Rams was number 72, Sammy Willis. Willis on the tackle. And it will bring up 3rd down and 3 after a pickup on the play of 6 yards.
Well, you know, on 3rd down and 3, that's a sort of a funny yardage, I guess you can say, sort of in between the running and passing down. So we'll see what Weir elects to do here early in the ball game.
Weir is a team who likes to run the ball mostly. Throw it just enough to get by, I guess you could say. 3rd down and 3 right here. They run the option to the right. This is Hoskins with the ball. Hoskins has a 1st down across the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. It's going to be a gain on the play of 7 yards for Shamon Hoskins, and Weir with their first down of the evening.
I'll tell you what, the fullback paid for it that time. That's really, he really sold that run, and I guess you could say got demolished as soon as he hit the line, because just about everybody on the defensive line of Vardaman that time got through.
Vardaman, of course, under the head coaching of Mark Bray as usual, and Junior Graham, the head man down here at Weir. I believe this is his 2nd year, if I'm not mistaken, after Joe Gant retired. Long-time legendary coach here at Weir. Won some state championships back in the 90s. Of course, the most famous players Mississippi State fans will know is DeCenzo Miller. Came out of here. That's a little slant complete over the middle. He's into the open, and I think he's going to go. Number 20, Keldrick Dosher is gone to the end zone. Touchdown. Just a little quick slant. Nobody was there, and Dosher able to haul it in and take it the length of the field for the touchdown. A 66-yard pass play for a touchdown. And so the Lions draw first blood here tonight.
Don, we also had a penalty on the play there afterwards. I don't know if it was excessive celebration or whatever they call it at the end. The officials were discussing it, and I missed it. They did give the signal, but I didn't see what it was. We'll see what they... Here it is here.
That is actually, instead of a 66, that was a 76-yard touchdown passes. A line of scrimmage was a 24, so 76-yard touchdown pass from Hoskins to Dosher. And Weir is on the board. And now, after a 15-yard celebration penalty, I believe, against Weir, unsportsmanlike conduct, then they're going to have to kick a long extra point now, which will actually amount to a 35-yard field goal, a 35-yard extra point from Fred Parrish.
Well, Don, you don't want to celebrate that early against a Vardaman team like that. We saw Calhoun City come out and strike early, and then Vardaman just come right back with a quick strike itself.
Extra point is up, and it's no good. Wide left and maybe short as well. But Weir able to strike early with a 76-yard touchdown pass from Shamon Hoskins to Keldrick Dosher. And so Weir on the board now with 6:53 to go in the first quarter. It's the Lions 6, the Rams nothing. We'll take a break and be right back to Weir right after this. Welcome back, everyone, as the Weir Lions jump out on top here 6-0. Greg Horton is back deep to receive the kickoff now from Fred Parrish. And Parrish is going to kick it across the way. Harden's going to take it at the 27-yard line, and Harden is going to be dropped at the 31-yard line. Only a 4-yard return. And so the Rams will have it 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Yeah, Harden that time, he sort of had a tough going to start running as he caught the ball above his head. You know, on kickoff return, you like to take and be able to run up and catch the ball. So Harden sort of had to backtrack and start from the get-go.
So the Rams get their second possession of the night. 1st and 10 at the 31. Offset eye to the right this time. Tedder is your tight end to the near side. Double wide receiver set. And they're going to run a pitch sweep now to Horton. Horton trying to get to the outside. He does, 35. And across the 40 to the 41-yard line goes Greg Horton. He's going to be right at the yardsticks, close to the first down. Coach Junior Graham right up in the face of number 34, James Triplett. He was not happy about something.
I'll tell you what, he might not be happy grabbing him, like he might have given him a case of whiplash there.
10-yard pickup for Horton, and it is a Vardaman first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. West comes up under center on 1st and 10. Gives it off to Mims, left side. Mims lowers his head and bangs his way up to the 43. Pickup of a couple. So he just lowers his head right into Roderick Forrest that time. Forrest able to bring him down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 44. So call it 3 yards for Jason Mims.
Yeah, that time he did. About all he done is got in the way and held on that time as Mims just basically ran over the top of him. And, you know, Mims got speed to go around, but he prefers to show that power and go through a guy.
2nd down and 7 now for the Rams. West runs it to the left side to Horton. Nothing there as the Weir defensive line was in the backfield. McKinley, number 52, was the first man there. He's the Mississippi State signee who got into the backfield that time and dropped Horton for a loss of 2 on the play. Back to the 42-yard line, and there's an injured player on the field here for the Rams. Looks like number 50 is the injured player for Vardaman, and that is Brandon Schenkel, an offensive guard, a senior, is down now. It looks like he is going to make it to his feet, and he's being assisted off the field here by the trainers.
Yeah, no, you don't need an experienced guy like that. He's been in the trenches the whole season. You hope he's able to return to the football game.
3rd and 9 now for the Rams from the 42-yard line. Possession play coming up right here. Shotgun formation now for West. West hands off to Mims on the draw and nothing doing. Mims able to get only to the 45-yard line. So Vardaman still has not attempted the pass, and it'll be 4th down now and a punting situation coming up for the Rams. A pickup of only 3 for Jason Mims. So So far tonight, Adam, the Rams have run 8 plays, 23 yards, and all of them have been on the ground.
Yeah, and I was really expecting there that time sort of their bread and butter play, as he called it last week, the little pass out in the flats to Mims. Instead of that time, trying to catch Weir, I guess, over-aggressive on defense and try to catch them asleep.
I really feel like they're going to have to throw the ball tonight to beat this Weir bunch. There's another great punt by Long. Long is booming some kicks. Hoskins doesn't want to mess with it. He lets it go, and it's going to be down at the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty punt there. Had that spiral on it and everything. That's what you got to like as a coach right there. And also for scouts looking, because it has a good hang time and the good length to it.
40-yard kick and no return. So anytime you can get it 40 yards and don't have them return it, that's an excellent kick. You know, just looking down at the sidelines, this Weir coaching staff, they're intense. They're running up and down the sidelines, out on the field. Every one of them's got a headset on. I don't know who all they're talking to, but first and 10 for the Lions at the 15-yard line. Their second possession of the night. Power I formation now. Hoskins hands it off to the tailback, and he is stuck by Jason Mims as he crossed the 15 to about the 16. That was number 5, the ball carrier, William Coleman. Coleman on the carry.
See Coleman there, he's adjusting his helmet because that was a good lick that time by Mims.
They're going to give him a generous spot all the way out to the 18, a pickup of 3. It'll be second down and 7. High formation now for the Lions. Option coming to the near side. This is Hoskins. He cuts it back inside, spins his way up to the first down marker, and across the 25 to the 26. Shamon Hoskins. You can tell this guy's an athlete, quarterback / runner, and he's able to pick up about 8 yards that time on a Weir first down.
Well, whenever you have a quarterback that can run, that just makes your offense about 2 times as dangerous because, you know, that allows you to be able to run the option pretty well. Then if you can't get a guy open to pass, which, as you said, they don't pass much either way it goes, but he's able to scramble. So, you know, you got to be aware of that on defense.
First and 10 for the Lions. Offset I to the left. Coleman and Dosher in the backfield. Going to give it to Coleman. Coleman off the left side. He's going to be dropped. Good tackle that time by number 45, Denley came through to make the stop at the 28-yard line, a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Adam, I've been a lot of places, done a lot of games, but this first time I've ever done a game where you felt like you was on a ship.
Absolutely. I tell you what, watching this TV down here, I'm about to get seasick.
I tell you what, this place, this press box is shaking. Option play coming here. Hoskins across the way. Hoskins has some speed to the outside, and he's grabbed and pulled down by Jason Mims. Mims, I believe, had a hold of the jersey that time. And a good tackle by Mims, or Hoskins, if he could have turned that corner, could have been off to the races. They'll drop him at the 35-yard line, where it'll bring up third down and 2. A pickup of 6 on the play for Hoskins, so third down and 2 coming up. Big play here for the Ram defense. From the 35-yard line, they're going to keep it on the ground. He didn't get it. Good job that time defensively by the Rams defensive front, and that was number 74 coming through that time for the Rams. Shane Burkeen, who had a good game last week against Calhoun City, able to stop Coleman that time for no gain, and it will bring up 4th and 2, and the Lions are going to punt it away.
So the Lions tried a little quick hit run that time, sort of, I guess you would say, trying to catch the backside of sleep as they was playing the option, but that time Vardaman defense did a great job of hitting him at the line and stopping him before he can go anywhere.
2:11 to go in the first quarter. Weir on top 6-0. Snaps a good one. Dosher gets off the kick, and Dosher gets off a booming kick. Fielded by Horton back at the 23. Horton trying to get a block, but he's going the wrong way now. Tried to stiff arm a defender, and now a penalty marker comes in. We could have an offensive face mask. I'm not sure what they're going to call as he's out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And so we'll see what the penalty marker is, but a great punt that time from Dosher. And Vardaman's going to be deep in their own end unless that penalty is going to go against Weir. But I think it's going to be an offensive face mask.
The way the officials are talking now, it's going to be even deeper than Vardaman wanted to start things off with.
That is indeed the call. Horton put up the left arm to try to stiff arm the defender off. And in fact, he grabbed him by the face mask, according to the official, and that'll be a half the distance mark off, or actually only going to be a 5-yard variety, which will go back to the 16-yard line. So the Rams are pinned deep. 1st and 10 from their 16. Minute 47 left here in the first quarter.
You know, I think the officials won't let you go on the first one, but when you put it up the second time, they're going to flag you on them each time because, you know, first time when you're offense, they give you the benefit of the doubt, but then after that, you know, they're going to get you like they did there.
First and 10 for the Rams. 2 wide receivers go to the left. Handed off to Mims, and Mims is met right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. So far, the Rams haven't really tried to fool anybody. It's been mostly that same couple of plays. Mims off the left side and Horton sweeping to the outside.
Absolutely, Don, and I agree with you totally now that now we've seen Vardaman. They have to beat Weir on the pass tonight, and that's when we're going to see West. You know, we saw him had a good arm last year, and he's going to put it to the test tonight.
Gain of a yard for Mims, 2nd down and 9. Gonna throw a quick pass out to Harden. That's a good play. 20, 25. Harden out of bounds at the 29-yard line. 28's where they say he went out. That's an excellent call. Just a little 2-step drop, and West quickly got it out to Harden. And there's all kind of running room out to the outside and all the way out to the 28-yard line for a pickup of 11 and a Ram first down.
Well, Don, you know that Vardaman's traditionally known for the run, you know, with Odie and Horton on the backfield. I say you can take and really throw this Weir defense for a loop if you take and just spread out everybody on in the routes and just take and send them down the field and pass. Because I believe, you know, you got to find a weakness in the defense, and you ain't going to be able to run against this Weir defense, so you got to try something.
1st and 10 from the 27. Going to give it to Horton. Horton's got some good running room this time. Up to the 34-yard line goes Greg Horton. Gain of 6 on the play. So 2nd down and 4 coming up. Horton so far tonight, 6 carries, 21 yards here in the first quarter. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Clock stops for some reason here.
We have the officials talking there. There's a flag down.
Yeah, there's a flag, right in the pile. It's going to be against Weir. They're talking to the Ram players. So it's got to be a face mask or something here. That is going to be the call. 5-yard face mask, which will be a Ram first down. They'll mark it out to the 39-yard line.
Well, what really sprung that last play was a huge shot by Mims. They had a guy in the backfield, but totally just, I guess you could say, decleated him as his feet was above his head when he tried to come in and make the tackle. So Mims really opened up that play that time for Horton.
First and 10 Rams at the 39-yard line, so they have some breathing room here anyway after starting back at their own 16-yard line. Trying to put a drive together. Here's a quick pass out. It's going to be incomplete. Pass was behind Tony Shaw. Shaw tried to come back to it, but not able to haul it in as it flickered off his fingertips. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, right there, you know, Vardaman had the 1st and 10 situation, so they're going to try to go off the quick pass to the outside to see if they can get a quick hit that time, but unfortunately only 1 step behind Shaw that time.
You know, it's easy for us to call plays up here. We're not second guessing or anything, but I'd like to see them come back with that pass to Caleb Tedder that we saw over the middle against Calhoun City. It was a big gain last week.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, just looking at the way this Weir defense plays, you know, you can take and drop back and just one of those little middle screens to your running back.
Hand off to Horton, and Horton's not going to get anywhere.
Break.
Welcome back, everyone, as we get set for the second quarter. We apologize for a little glitch right there as we missed one play, and I don't think you'll mind it. Brian West got sacked for a loss of 7. So Vardaman forced to punt again. Long back on the field, and Long gets off another booming kick. That's going to send Hoskins all the way back to the 30. Hoskins gets away from the initial tacklers into the open now. Hoskins down the sidelines, 35, 30, gets a block, still on his feet, and he stepped out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That's maybe the only thing that kept Hoskins from going the distance. as Shamon Hoskins stepped out of bounds as he tried to make his cutback at the 25-yard line. So the Lions are going to have excellent field position, but guess what? There's a penalty marker on the play, so this one looks like it's coming back. We're going to have an illegal block or something against the Weir Lions, and that is a huge break for the Vardaman Rams.
Well, I want to say the coach over here for Weir is really probably going to have an aneurysm down here as much as he's into each game, and a mistake like that, he's liable to throw the kid up in the stands.
So now Hoskins will come over to talk to head coach Junior Graham. I had a chance to meet Coach Graham down at Jackson last year, and of course we sat behind him at the basketball championships, and he's a pretty nice fella, but when the game starts, he's about as intense as they get.
That should be a late substitution guy coming in the ball game late, checking back out.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line is where Weir will open this drive as we open the second quarter. They give to the fullback, Dosher. Dosher coming around the corner, and he's going to go out of bounds. Harden had a hold of his arm, trying to get him down, but not before he picked up a Weir first down out at the 36-yard line, a gain of 11 on the play for Charles Dosher. It'll be 1st and 10 Lions at their own 36-yard line. 11:36 to go in the first half. Weir on top 6-0.
We have a timeout called by Vardaman.
And with that timeout, we'll take a break as well. You're watching the Rams football here on TV7, TV 34. Your score, Weir 6, Vardaman nothing. We'll take a break. Be back in just a few moments. Welcome back, everyone, out of the timeout now. Weir has it 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Hoskins hands off to his tailback, Coleman, and Coleman is going to drive his way up to the 42-yard line. Mims made the stop, but a nice pickup on the play of about 6 yards for William Coleman. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Well, Don, that time he had a hole that you could drive a truck through. It just sort of, I guess you could say, just opened up right there in front of him. As soon as he seen it, he couldn't resist, and that time he just hit it hard and picked up a good chunk of real estate.
109-33 was the first quarter stats. Weir had the upper hand. Of course, 76 of those came on the one pass play, the touchdown pass from Hoskins to Dosher. Hoskins rolling out to the left, gets a block in the backfield. Now he's cut off. Now he's going to be surrounded and dropped for a loss back at the 36-yard line. And there's a late penalty coming in, I believe. We may have a flag against Weir, as Andrew Berry was clapping that time as if he thought it might be a late hit against the Lions. That'll be tacked on to the end of the play, so a loss of 5 on the play back to the 37-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Don, they totally fooled me that time running the camera. I thought it was a give to the first guy through, and this time, as he said, he kept it on the outside.
Yeah, this guy's an excellent option quarterback. A lot of speed Hoskins can play, and so he's very deadly running the option, and that first pass he threw looked pretty good as well. And of course we watched the game there for a while before we realized he was a left-handed quarterback, and then he comes out and throws a perfect strike on the slant for the touchdown.
It's 3rd down, 30 to 25.
I-bone formation now with 3 in the backfield, and they're going to give it to the last man through, and that's not going to work very much. Number 21 stacked up by the line defense. No listing on number 21, and he'll be stopped at the 23-yard line.
And Don Mills was on that tackle once again. He's had a great defensive night tonight already. I know we at least called his name on 5 times on tackles.
1 yard gain for number 21. And it'll be a punting situation now for Weir. So the Rams should get good field position right here. Horton and Harden are back at their own 40-yard line. Dosher to do the kicking. He got off a great punt the first time. This is a decent punt. Going to hit at the 48-yard line and take a nice Weir roll down the sideline to the 37-yard line. So the Rams will take over at their own 37. That was a 41-yard kick. Got a nice roll, no return on the play. So Vardaman comes out at the 36 is actually, we're going to put it down now at the 36-yard line. And so the Rams go on offense 1st and 10 at their own 36. So far tonight, the offense hasn't been able to do very much. The defense, give them credit, with the exception of that one long pass play when Dosher broke out in the open. Ram defense has played very well against the rush. 1st and 10 Rams from the 36. They give it to Horton, and Horton, not much running room there as he gets maybe a yard to the 37. Worthy made the tackle after a gain of only 1.
Well, Don, right now, Horton just don't have that explosive takeoff as he always does due to the lack of he's able to play on that foot. So wouldn't mind seeing Shaw maybe taking a couple of handoffs to see if he can use that ability to use his speed from the get-go just to get past that line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 9 here from the 37. Mims in the backfield. Horton is out now, and it's a shotgun formation for West. Trips to the left here for the Rams. And we got some movement. Going to be illegal motion against Vardaman as one of the receivers moved that time, so that'll cost him 5 yards. Force him into a 2nd and 14 situation now. 8:54 to go here in the first half. Been a very quick played first half of play so far. We talked about in the opening, these two teams met last year, of course, and it was a great football game. Went right down to the wire. I think Vardaman had a big goal line stand when they, or actually scored on a play down at the goal line when it was questionable whether Odie Armstrong got in the end zone. Here's West trying to get some running room to the outside. He is corralled by a host of red jerseys back at the 28-yard line. Going to be a big loss on the play. Back for a loss of 4. Brian West nowhere to go that time, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Rams.
Well, Don, seeing that thing right there always remind me of a statement Coach Suggs made. Don't dance until you get past the line of scrimmage. You know where you're supposed to go, get there and go, and then dance after you get past there, because you don't want to waste as much time as you can, because as soon as they do, you'll see just where it is there, they'll get to you.
You scared me when you said a quote from Coach Suggs.
He's had so many.
He had some good ones. 3rd down and long. Shotgun. West to throw. Swings it out in the flat to Horton, and it's going to be intercepted. Into the open. It's going to be that man, Dosher, again. He's going to score. Touchdown, Dosher. And Weir takes advantage of a turnover as the ball went right through the hands of Horton into the arms of Keldrick Dosher for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions are now up 12-0.
Don, there's really not much you can say about that play. It's just one of those plays where, you know, it's just a fluke. You just happen to get a present and you take advantage of it, I guess you can say.
Did you see what yard line he caught that at?
I have to say it was probably about a 28-yard return.
So we're going to go with a 28-yard return for Dosher. And they're going to go for 2 now to try to get back the missed extra point from earlier when they had the penalty. Hoskins under center, and the penalty markers come in before the 2-point conversion can get underway. So the first turnover of the night is a huge and costly turnover for the Rams. Offsides against Weir is going to back them up 5 for illegal procedure. It's actually the call. 12-0 Weir, trying to make it 14 here on a 2-point conversion. Hoskins under center. Dosher and Coleman in the backfield. Hoskins to throw, looking right, and he's going to be sacked. There's a flag down. The ball is loose, but there is a flag on the play. And it's going to be against Weir, so that'll be declined. And so Weir comes up empty for the 2nd time tonight on the 2-point conversion. So with 7:48 remaining in the first half, the Weir Lions on top right now, the Vardaman Rams, by the score of 12-0. We'll take you to a station break and be back with more. You're watching TV7, TV 34. Stay with us. We're back here at Weir High School. Don Brooks, Adam Gore, Jeff Edwards down on the sidelines tonight, bringing you some crowd shots. And here's the kickoff. It's going to be fielded by Pierce back at the 15. Pierce back to the 25. Bounces off a tackler, now cuts it back to the 30. Still on his feet, 35. And gets it out to about the 37-yard line where he is surrounded and dropped there by the line coverage team. First and 10, Vardaman at the 37-yard line. You can't really say Vardaman hasn't had some field position tonight. The last drive and their first drive, both they had the ball in excellent shape, just not able to do anything with it offensively so far tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just been the case. We knew Weir had a great defense coming in here tonight, and that's what they're showing. They're going to prove, making Vardaman prove to them, say, listen, if you're going to beat us on the ground, you got to earn it. And Vardaman right now is just picking up a little bit on the ground, but tried a couple of passes that hadn't been successful.
19 yards rushing so far for Vardaman, 11 yards passing, so a total offense of only 30 yards. Offset eye now for the Rams is West, looking over the defensive front. 5 men across the front for the Lions. Gonna run that play to the left, this to the tailback, and he's gonna be dropped. Maybe a yard on the play. That was number 15 in the football game that time, and that is Taurus Shaw. Shaw, only a freshman, getting some playing time and able to pick up a yard that time to the 38-yard line.
Well, now we see Tony coming in the ball game in the replace of Shaw, so we see how well Tony Shaw does here.
2nd and 9 now for the Rams from the 38-yard line. Draw play goes to Tony Shaw, and he's not going anyway. Loss of 1 on the play, and it was number 8 coming through for the Lions that time, that being Eric Hoskins. There's a Hoskins every time you turn around, Adam, and a Hoskins and a Dosher, and a loss of 1 that time for Tony Shaw.
Well, right now, Weir, proving my point, as I said a while ago, you have to earn it on the ground with them. And really, right now, Vardaman's not having to make them honest as they keep everything on the ground. And right now, Weir said, we intercepted a pass from you, hadn't completed but 1 yet. So, you really have to earn the respect of that Weir defense until you prove to them that, you can tear them up either way. They're going to stick to killing you on the run here.
Shotgun now for Brian West on 3rd down and 10 yards to go from the 37-yard line. Weir's off sides and they blow it dead. Once you come across in high school football, the play is blown dead. And so it'll be a 5-yard mark off against the Lions. And it'll go up to the 42-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, I mean, if you can't pick it up on the ground, get them off sides that way and just pick up real estate any way you can.
Third down and 5 yards to go for the Rams. Possession play right here, trying to keep this drive alive. Every drive has ended either in a turnover or a punt so far tonight. Tony Shaw with some hard running, but I don't think he got it, as he's going to be dropped at the 47-yard line. They gave him a pretty good spot, though, but I don't think he has the first down. We'll see. Yeah, he does. They did give it to him. So a generous spot that time for the Rams, and they do have the first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, you take that on the road, especially being here at Weir. I'll agree with you, John. Like right before he got past on the first down marker, he got jerked back by the defense. But, hey, we'll take it.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 47-yard line. They need to get some points on the board here before halftime. Down 12-0 with 5:21 to go in the first half. West swings it out to Harden. Harden to the 50. Harden to the 45. Still on his feet. 40. Inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. That play was very effective earlier in the game. And another nice pickup down to the 36-yard line. A gain on the play of 17 yards and a Ram first down.
Absolutely. I mean, that quick strike right there, don't give the defense enough time to react to what you're doing. And when you hit a guy on the run like that, he's got momentum on his side. And you said there, Harden did a good job of making the cutback and picking up the additional yardage.
West 2 out of 3 on the night for 28 yards now. 1 interception. He's returned for a touchdown. First and 10 Rams at the Weir 36-yard line, their deepest penetration of the night. First and 10. Pitch sweep coming up here to Shaw. Taurus Shaw hesitated and had a little trouble getting a hold of the football, and he's going to be dropped for a loss at the 37-yard line. Another penalty marker on the play. And I think this may be holding against the Rams. Holding against Vardaman, and they'll take that penalty. It'll be a 10-yard mark off. From the point of the foul, it'll still be first down.
Right there, that's a tough breakdown. As you said, they were sort of stuck for a loss, and then you got that, I guess, insult to injury there with the penalty. And right now, Vardaman, as you said, like when they have something successful going on the pass, go back to the run.
So they'll mark it back to the 47-yard line, where it'll be first and 21 now for the Rams. Tony Shaw comes wide to the left. Two wide receivers go to the right. Mims, your lone setback, as West out of the shotgun. West back to throw in the pocket. Has good protection. Wants to go deep. Got a man wide open. It's complete to Pierce, and Pierce is out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Had Pierce been able to stay in bounds, he had an easy touchdown, but the throw carried him toward the sideline, and Pierce went out of bounds at the 18-yard line. But nevertheless, a nice pickup on the play.
Well, Don, if you notice that time, they were sort of favoring the side that Shaw was on, and Shaw just stood there and turned towards the quarterback, and everybody sort of bit up looking for that quick pass to the outside, and that time Pierce was open. I mean, you couldn't even get any more open than that.
24-yard gain to the 18-yard line. Now they're going to give it to Tony Shaw, and Shaw is dropped for a loss at the 19. Well, we have to believe that Greg Horton is just not able to go, as we've seen Taurus Shaw and Tony Shaw both come in, and now we see Horton limp back on the field just as we said that. That ankle is bothering him. He's trying to give a go of it. Just not anywhere close to his usual burst of speed that you usually see out of him. Second and 11 now from the 19-yard line. Shaw, play action, wants to throw. Now he's being chased. West on the run to the 20, down to the 19. He got back to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him to the 18. So a gain of 1 for Brian West.
That's one thing this Weir defense makes you do. It makes you make quick decisions, and you don't have time to look off your first man, second, then third. You got to have pretty much your mind made up at the line of scrimmage who you're going to pass to.
Third and about 10. Third and a long 10 coming up here for Vardaman. This is 4-down territory here. You don't want a field goal, and of course it's probably not even within Guerrero's range. I don't know, he might can nail one from there, but down 12-0. I think this is 4-down territory for the Rams. Third down and 10. Here comes a blitz. West steps up in the pocket, got a man open, complete to the tight end Denley, and Denley is going to be stopped. The official said, I don't know about that call.
I have to say, they blew that play dead too early.
Absolutely. He was still driving, but they say the forward progress had been stopped at the 13-yard line. A gain of 5 on the play. It will bring up fourth down. 4th and 4. And so the Rams are going to go for it here.
And this time you just run the same play right there. Just a little play action, make them think you can do a little quick pass to the outside. And, a tight end is one of the players I don't think is used enough in football. 4th
and 5 make it. And the Rams are going for it as we thought. West under center on 4th and 5. Back to throw. In the pocket, swings it out to Berry. Berry's got it to the 10. He's down to the 8, maybe. I don't think he got it. It'll depend on the forward progress stop, but I don't think he got it.
I believe he's a yard shy, Don.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down at about the 8.5-yard line. He didn't get it, and so the Lions will take over. And so Weir able to hold. They needed 5, they only got 4. And so Weir takes over. 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line with only 2:13 to go here in the first half. And really and truly, that hurts not being able to get some points on the board on that drive. But Adam, right now you've got to try to force a turnover to try to get Weir pinned deep in their own end and either force a turnover or get the ball back on a punt.
Well, right now, it's no doubt it's all on the shoulders of the defense having to come up with a big play here.
And the defense makes a big play there as Dosher is dropped after he got to the 9-yard line, a pickup of 1. Charles Dosher, not the same Dosher who scored the 2 touchdowns. Second down and 9 now from the 9-yard line.
You know, Don, you see as soon as Vardaman gets some guys held up like that, you got to have guys coming in there trying to strip the ball away as Weir's trying to call a timeout. And none of the players are seeing it, so I guess they're going to keep them playing.
Second and 9 here from the 9, and now they are going to take a timeout. Hoskins looked over at his head coach and decided to take the timeout. And with 1:32 remaining here in the first half, we'll take a break. You're watching Vardaman football here on TV7, TV 34. Your score, Weir 12, Rams nothing. We'll be back in just a moment. We're back here on second down and 9. Handoff straight up the middle. He's wide open. Dosher off to the races. Dosher, 50, 40. He's out trying to outrun the defender, and he's going to do it. Touchdown, Dosher. And that was about as much of a dagger as you could get going into the locker room, as Charles Dosher with a 91-yard touchdown run straight up the middle. A big, huge opening, and Dosher was off to the races. 91 yards to pay dirt, and that puts Charles Dosher just like that over 100 yards for the night, and it also makes the score Weir 18, Vardaman nothing. And we're talking about Vardaman needing a turnover to go into the locker room with some momentum and some points, and the exact opposite side of the spectrum happened right there as Weir able to get a touchdown before the half.
A little quick little handoff right there. If you get your fullback to go full speed, you know he's going to pick up a lot of real estate. And if you can get a guy that's in good enough shape, he's going to do as the kid did just then. He's going to be able to beat off the defense, because just running that fast from the get-go, nobody's going to be able to arm tackle. You're going to break tackles and you'll be in the secondary before the secondary even knows it.
So with 1:18 to go here in the first half, it's been all Weir here so far tonight. They're going to go for 1 now. Parrish will attempt the extra point. Or actually, this time it's going to be Jonathan Beard, number 15, doing the kicking. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. So the extra point is good. 1:18 to go in the first half. Weir 19, Vardaman nothing. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. We're back here from Weir High School. Don Brooks, Adam Gore, Jeff Edwards, coming to you from the Weir pirate ship, I guess you could say, up here. The old shaky press box. You know, Coach Mike Ray warned me about this press box before we came down here today, and he told me the truth on this sucker. Here comes Shaw on the return out to the 35-yard line. So the Rams are going to get good field position again. I think the Rams are going to have to put the ball in the air and put the ball down the field a little more in the second half. That's the best way for them to get back into this game, is some big plays. And I think they can throw the ball against this Weir defense.
Absolutely, I do too. I mean, we saw one play was completely wide open. We saw, you know, they've been able to hit some of the flats, but you know, flats with this type of defense, you're not going to be able to pick up much real estate. But like I said, I say you come out the second half or right now and just really throw a wrench in the defense's plan here and just take and spread out everybody and just try to catch me now.
They're going to put their DBs as far back as they can here, and now the official wants to take an official's timeout. I think McKinley has something wrong with his helmet, looks like. And Markel McKinley will hustle off the field, try to get that repaired. First and 10 Rams from the 35-yard line. Swings it out now to Mims. Incomplete. Pass was a little high. Mims not able to haul it in, so it'll be second down and 10.
You know, Don, we said we hadn't seen that play much, and there they go running it there. That's really truly their bread and butter play. You get a kid out like Mims, able to get his feet out from under him, run him, and catch that on the run. The first guy's not going to bring him down, no doubt. You know, he's just too strong to be brought down on the initial hit.
Yeah, that was a good play call. Just did not execute it. The pass was a little too high. And so second down and 10, they're going to say at the 36-yard line is where they mark it. Second down, 10 yards to go. Shotgun formation now for West. High snap, gives it to his tailback Mims, and he is stuffed. That was number 8 again. Guess who? Hoskins in the backfield that time to make the tackle. It'll be a loss back to the 33, a loss of 3 that time for Jason Mims.
So right now you see the offensive coordinator for Vardaman over there trying to figure it out, what to do against this Weir defense, and Weir's just played the perfect game here in the first half.
21 yards rushing in the first half for the Rams. That's not going to get done.
Or how many times do you think you ever hear you say that with this type of Rams offense?
Third down and long. Communication problem in the backfield. They give it to Tony Shaw, and Shaw gets back to the 35. Now Weir may take a timeout, and they will to try to get the ball back on a punt. So it'll be fourth down. A pickup of 2 on the play for Tony Shaw. So they're going to let the clock run out. That'll do it for the first half of play. All Weir here in the first half. As you take a look at the score, the Weir Lions 19, the Vardaman Rams nothing. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back here with some first half stats for you. We'll give you the complete first half stats in just a few moments. You're watching Ram football here on TV 7, TV 34. Back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. You ever seen a lion get down? Well, you're seeing one here, the Weir mascot performing here at halftime for the Weir crowd. And the Ram across the way now wanting to get in on the action, showing that Rowdy can do a little dancing as well. And let's take a look here at some first half stats for you. First of all, for the Vardaman Rams, Greg Horton on the night, battling an injured ankle, has carried the ball 8 times for 21 yards. Jason Mims 5 carries for 6 yards. Brian West 3 carries for -10. Taurus Shaw 1 carry for 1 yard. Tony Shaw carried 4 times for 5 yards. Vardaman on the ground tonight, just 23 yards of rushing offense. Throwing the ball, Brian West was 5 out of 7 for 61 yards with 1 interception. So the total offense on the night for the Rams was 84 yards, 23 rushing, 61 passing. For Weir, Charles Dosher was the leading man. He had 104 yards rushing on 4 carries. The big one, of course, the 91-yard touchdown run. Shamon Hoskins, the quarterback, 5 carries for 22 yards. William Coleman carried 4 times for 11 yards. And number 21, who we don't have a listing for, carried 1 time for 1 yard. Hoskins also threw the ball 1 time tonight, and it was a 76-yard touchdown pass. He was 1 for 1, passing for 76 yards. Let's give you the scoring summary real quick. 6:53 to go in the first quarter. Keldrick Dosher caught a 76-yard touchdown pass from Shamon Hoskins. The kick failed. It was 6-0 at that point. Stayed that way until 7:48 mark of the second quarter, when Dosher once again picked off a Brian West pass off a deflection, returned it some 28 yards for a touchdown to make it 12-0. Weir on top. Then with only a minute and 8 seconds to go in the first half, the big fullback, Charles Dosher, rambled 91 yards for the touchdown. The kick was good, and that made the score 19-0 Weir, and that is your score here at halftime. The Lions leading the Rams by the score of 19-0. We'll take a break, and we'll come back here and we'll tell you about some of the other matchups tonight in 1A, and we'll have the second half kickoff coming up with you as well here from Weir. So stay with us. You're watching Ram football here on TV 7, TV 34. Welcome back, everyone, here as we get set for the second half. We told you we'd tell you about the other games in 1A tonight. Caledon City hosting Maben in this side of the bracket. The winner of that game will play the winner of this game. As we get it underway, they angle it to the near side. It's going to be fielded at the 19-yard line. Back up, and he's going to be hit and dropped at the 30-yard line. Number 13 on the return, that's Fred Parrish. And Parrish is going to be dropped at the 31 is where they're going to give him forward progress. So 1st and 10 for the Lions at the 31-yard line.
You know, Don, that fence is sort of close to the sidelines. You know, you hit a guy hard enough, he's going to go flip over into the stands.
We were talking about before the game, you know, you could score a touchdown here and end up right in the bathroom. It's so close to the field, the door's open and it's down in the end zone. We may get a chance to show that to you a little bit later. It's actually pretty funny. You got people down there in the end zone, right on top of the end zone. Here's the give to Dosher up the middle, and Dosher is going to be dropped. Denley coming through there for the hit, and they'll give him to the 32-yard line, a pickup of 1.
That was a very generous one that time.
Absolutely. Charles Bull Dosher on the carry. 2nd and 9 coming up here for the Lions. Vardaman needs a 3 and out right here. They've got to get some points on the board, and you don't want to let Weir do anything good offensively, get some momentum starting the second half. Here's the give to Coleman. Coleman jumping over some defenders, getting it out to the 37-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play for William Coleman.
Tedder on the tackle for Vardaman.
It'll be 3rd down and 4. Now at the 40 or the 37-yard line. 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Lions. Big play right here for the Ram defense.
Absolutely, as you see the defensive signs going up across the way. Right now, Vardaman needs to come out early and set the tone here and try to take this ball game back in some momentum on their side.
Offset eye to the left. Dosher in the backfield with Coleman. Quarterback sneak. Hoskins up the middle. I don't think he got it unless they give him a generous spot.
Well, if they give him that much of a generous spot, Don, I think I'd be a little upset.
They're going to mark it down at the 41. I don't think he got it. He didn't, and Weir's not going to take any chances up 19-0. They're going to punt it away, so that's exactly what the Rams needed, but I would still be aware right here because a fake punt could be in the works.
Be aware of where?
Be aware of where? Where are we?
Where? But both these punters, Don, have had a great first half of action.
Absolutely. Dosher gets it off, and it's a high kick. Not very long, though. Rams need to get out of the way. And that nearly touched a Ram that time. He was running right beside the ball. The coach over there is telling him, get out of the way, and it'll be Ram football at the 32-yard line. They'll have decent field position to open this drive.
Absolutely. We saw that happen in the first half against Weir. It sort of took a, I guess you can call it a sandwich, a little hot back and bounced off one of the legs, but luckily for Weir, they was able to fall back on top of it.
So 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 32-yard line. They're going to have to get something going here. Definitely not out of this football game. We've seen them put up a lot of points in some games this year. They can score with some big plays, but going to have to do a little better job than they did in the first half of sustaining some drives and getting some openings for their key players.
Well, Don, right now, Weir needs to take and get some money for their football equipment because about every other play is they're having to stop just to let the guys get their helmets fixed.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line here for the Rams. They run a pitch sweep to Horton, or make it Shaw, and Shaw is drilled. He took a hard hit at the 29-yard line. He lost 3 yards. Tony Shaw, nowhere to go that time. Loss of 3. We told you 23 yards rushing is all Vardaman had in the first half. And there's a loss of 3 on the first play back to the 29.
You know, Don, looking at some of Vardaman's stats, you think a 23-yard rush might be bad for this type of offense.
You'd think 23-yard would be one play for Vardaman if you've watched them all year, but that's what they had the total first half. 2nd down and 13. Play action, West back to throw, steps up in the pocket, got a man wide open, that's Mims. Mims bounces right off the tackle. He's to the 50, 45, Mims to the 40, still on his feet, dragging tacklers inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And Don, it's like I told you in the first half, the first guy's not going to bring Mims down. He's just that strong.
43-yard pass completion to Jason Mims. And a great play that time as West showed a lot of composure. He just avoided the first defender, stepped up in the pocket, found Mims rolling out on a nice completion and a big gain on the play of 43 yards.
No, but I agree with you totally. You know, we talked in the first, you know, I believe you can pass against this Weir defense, and that's what Vardaman's got to do.
1st and 10 at the 28. They give it to Mims again, and Mims has played a great football game here so far tonight. It gets to the 25, a pickup of 3. Played well defensively as well, been in on a lot of tackles. 2nd down and 7 coming up. Well, we talked a little bit about the 1A matchup between Maben and Calhoun City. The other side of the bracket, Smithville is hosting Coffeyville tonight, and West Lowndes battling Durant down in Durant tonight as well. Those are the matchups in the north in the 1A regional playoffs. 2nd and 7 from the 25. Pitch sweep here to Tony Shaw. Shaw trying to get to the outside, nowhere to go. That's Horton, rather. Horton not able to get any burst of speed to the outside, and he is dropped for a loss back at the 29-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play for Greg Horton, who now on the night 9 carries for 17 yards.
And you can tell the way Horton's leaving the field, you know, this kid's hurt. And a player like Horton, you know, he's a true player, and it's going to take a lot for him to be hurt, and you can tell that ankle has to really be bothering him.
3rd down and 11 now for the Rams back at the 29-yard line. Passing situation coming up. West fakes the pitch, throws it to the end zone. He's trying to hit Berry. That's pass interference. It's intercepted by Hoskins, and a touchback is the call because he was, I guess you can't bring it out of the end zone. I'm not sure why they blew it dead, even though it was a penalty. They should at least let him keep running, I would think, but pass interference is going to be the call against Weir. A good call that time by the official. He definitely bumped him before the ball got there. And so that'll be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic Ram 1st down.
Well, Don, I guess they just blew the play dead because they knew there was no sense in it. But, you know, as a matter of fact, we saw Robert Fox run back from one for 102 yards, so you can run it out of the end zone.
That's right. I guess so. I guess that's your point indeed. But most of the time, you know, even if there is a penalty, they don't blow the play dead.
They let them play it through, which is the way you're supposed to do it. But I guess they didn't really want to waste their time or have to go down the field to get the ball back.
He may have gone all the way because it was a Hoskins. 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 15-yard line. Excellent opportunity here for the Rams coming out of the locker room. Their opening drive of the 2nd half. West to throw, trying to hit the slant. Nobody was there. Now West going to run with it. West to the 15, still on his feet to the 10, slides his way down about the 7, maybe the 6. Good job of running that time by Brian West. And they're going to mark him down at the 6-yard line. So a gain of 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Well, Don, that's probably the biggest rush we've seen here so far in the 2nd half. And, you know, if you got to think with a player like West, he's got decent speed, as he just showed there, and the ability to elude tackles. So why not just take and let him roll out and see what he can make happen?
2nd down 2 for the Rams at the Weir 6-yard line. Power I formation with Tony Shaw back there along with Edmondson and Mims. They give it to Mims, and Mims off the right side has the 1st down as he's inside the 5 to about the 2. Gain of 4 on the play for Jason Mims. 1st and goal, Rams at the 2-yard line, and that silenced the Weir crowd here, at least momentarily.
Well, Don, you can't say enough for the way Mims is playing so far in this ballgame. He's really had to step up tonight and play good on both sides with the injury to Horton. He's done so far tonight.
1st and goal to go with 6:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. West up under center with a power I formation. They're showing blitz up the middle now, and where West is going to run the ball. He's not going to go very far, but he dives in the end zone. That's all individual effort by Brian West. It looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but somehow he was able to stretch forward and pick up the touchdown off the quarterback keeper behind his right tackle, and a 2-yard touchdown run for Brian West puts the Rams on the board.
And Don, if you're the coach for Weir, you know, you sort of just got to take it and swallow it there, because once you get a team like Vardaman with some momentum and some confidence in the offense of throwing the long balls they did on that drive there, you know, you got to be worried.
Guerrero will attempt the PAT now to try to cut the lead to 12. Snaps a good one. The kick is blocked, picked up by Weir, and they're going to take it back, but it won't count. They do not have the rule that you have in college where you can return it for 2 points.
He's going to show off for the Scouts.
So the extra point is no good. And with 6:18 remaining in the third quarter, Vardaman, however, on the board, it's Weir 19, Vardaman 6. We'll take a break and be back in just a few moments. Stay with us. And you can see the Ram crowd and their players are fired up now. They're trying to gain some momentum. Now Weir, they try to counter here on the near side. Tony Shaw will kick off here for the Rams. And he kicks it off right down the middle of the field. There's going to be Dosher taking it at the 17-yard line. Charles Dosher back at the middle looking for some room. He's going to be dropped at the 33-yard line by Andrew O'Berry. And there's a late flag coming in. There was some extracurricular activities going on at the end of that play. Looked like Harden for Vardaman was tied up that time with number 57, Clay Vowell. And I think they're going to throw the penalty on Vowell.
I believe it might be offset in the way because he's pointing both ways so far in the huddle, but we'll see what they come out here. There is two flags on the field, so that's probably what it's going to be.
Could be offsetting penalties. So if that's the case, they'll just cancel each other out and the ball will stay right where it is. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Vardaman and against Weir. So that is exactly what happened. And they'll decline it. And of course they warn the coaches that the next time that happens between the two same players, they'll be ejected from the game. So that's why they call that. Otherwise they could just let it go and it wouldn't matter because it was against both sides. But that's the reason they call the offsetting penalties. First and 10 Weir at their own 34-yard line.
In this type of ball game, you just got to let a little bit of extra go here if you're the official because both teams are going to be fired up. And, you know, that's just part of the game.
Hoskins on the option to the near side. Gets a good block. Hoskins is going to be hit, but he didn't wrap up. And so Hoskins will take it out. And there's a flag coming in. That's a bad call, in my opinion. They're going to say spearing, I believe, or leading with the helmet, but I don't know about that call.
Yeah, there's a flag thrown earlier also in the play. So this one here could be offsetting once again. So one of those pointing towards, I believe it's going to be holding against Weir, and then, as you said, either leading with the helmet or a late hit. And if it's a late hit, that's a pathetic call.
10-yard gain for Hoskins. And the officials are going to confer now. And now they make the right call. Good call by the officials. Sometimes you got to give them some credit. They thought about it, talked about it, and decided that that was not worthy of a penalty. And now they are going to call a clipping. So that they waved off one flag, but they did not wave off the clipping. And Coach Graham is not going to be happy with that here for Weir. That'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Lions, which will back them up.
That was the right call because the Vardaman defender that time was in the air, I guess you could say, when the whistle blown. So, I mean, really, you can't put, unless he's been installed with some air brakes, there's no way for him to stop it. He did a good job. And said, as you said, you know, he could have let in with his head that time and actually hit the guy, but he did a good job trying to avoid him and just got him with a little bit of his arm and the upper body.
Cliff was right at the end of the play because they marked it off from the end of the run or at the point that he was tackled. So it will be 1st and 15 now back at the, or actually 1st and 14 back to the 30-yard line.
And Don Ware's got to hustle to get to the line of scrimmage because the quarterback checked in late with the play.
Hoskins under center out of the I formation. He's going to run the option to the fullback Dosher. Nowhere to go. A good tackle again by Jason Mims as he dropped him at the 32-yard line after a gain of 2. It will be 2nd down and about 12.
Once again, Mims using that power and strength he has. They're able, you know, most of the time whenever you hit them, see the initial hit, the guys miss the tackle, but not with Mims. He's got great upper body strength, great leg strength, able to make guys miss him when he tackles, but he's able, once he gets his arms around you, you're going down.
2nd and 12 here for the Lions. Offset I to the left behind Hoskins. Hoskins going to play action. He's back to throw. Edmondson on the blitz. He couldn't knock him down, though. Hoskins still on his feet now. Is going to roll out to the near side, and he's going to be finally dropped at the 34-yard line. And give Trent Edmondson some credit that time. He missed the tackle on the sack, but he didn't give up on the play. He came running back and actually even came back to make the tackle at the 34-yard line. So it was a gain of 2 for Hoskins, or give him 3. They're going to say he was down to 35.
Well, credit, as you said, Edmondson that time. That's one thing you like to see as a coach. You know, he missed the sack. He actually went down, but was able to get up and didn't give up on the play. And you know that's what it takes to come back in a ball game. Just extra effort from everybody.
He came in that time untouched to the blind side of Hoskins, but not able to wrap up. And so it'll be 3rd down and 9. Fumble on the snap. It's loose on the field. And I think Vardaman may have it. Let's see, there's a fight underneath the pile, and Vardaman does have it. The Rams have it at the 35-yard line. Coming out of there was Shane Burkeen. We've called his name a lot. One of the best freshmen that you'll see in this area. And Burkeen came out of there with the fumble recovery. And so the Rams have an excellent chance here at the Weir 36-yard line.
I'll tell you what, now we talked about it getting the turnover earlier in the part of the ball game. You know, they needed it, but Vardaman got it there, and just like that, they can get right back in this ball game and really deflate any momentum that Weir had going into halftime. 1st and
10 Rams at the Weir 36-yard line. Offset out of the right now. Shaw in the backfield with Mims. They fake the pitch. Wants to go deep now. Down the sidelines, got a man out there. It's Pierce. He's got it at the 6-yard line. Melvin Pierce. And that was about of a perfect throw as you can make. That time by Brian West, he laid it right in there to Melvin Pierce at the 6-yard line.
And once again, taunting penalty there, and that's one you do not need, especially in this type of ball game, getting that far down. That's going to be a penalty against Vardaman.
Sometimes, you know, you got to let the guys play. I mean, it's an exciting play, and then he jumps up, excited over it, and they throw a flag.
Absolutely. I mean, really, to me, high school football is the only pure football left. You know, these guys ain't getting paid to come out here and play and everything. They're actually playing for the fun of the game. And to me, just let the guys do it. I mean, it's not taking anything away from the game. It's not bringing any special attention to them. And like you said, a play like that, they deserve it. You know, that was a great catch.
Got a 25-yard gain on the play. That is a costly penalty, though, against Pierce, but you know, you make a big play, you jump up, excited over it, and the official throws a flag. I think it's terrible. You 15 to 18-year-old kids out here excited over a big play. And then, you know, understandable if he'd done it for a long period of time, but that wasn't the case there. Ball at the 20-yard line. They'll pitch it out now to Tony Shaw. Shaw looking for some room, cuts it back inside, and a pretty good run there to the 15-yard line. I pick up a 5 for Tony Shaw. That's been the best carry of the night for Shaw so far.
That's what I was about to say. You know, that's finally some life there in the Vardaman running game, and I guess you can say that thanks in part to the simple fact that they're able to pass the ball off the field now. You know, talking about that respect, you've got to respect the pass now if you're Weir's defense.
2nd down and 5 at the 15-yard line. West under center, gives to his fullback Mims, and Mims, not much running room, maybe a yard to the 14-yard line. Big number 52, Markel McKinley, was there to make the tackle from his defensive tackle position. After a gain of only 1, it'll be 3rd down and 4.
When I say you got to respect the pass, they're not going to respect it that much, you know. As you said, seems to me Vardaman's trying to challenge the big man. And with a big guy like that right there, unless you got the whole line blocking him, he's going to win most of those challenges.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. 4 down territory once again here for the Rams. They'll go with the power I formation now. West fakes, wants to throw. He throws on the middle, man wide open, complete. It'll be 1st and goal to go. That is Caleb Tedder, the tight end, flashed over the middle, and an excellent play call by Mark Bray. Coach Bray making a good call. We talked about earlier, we'd like to see him go to Tedder more often. He's got good hands, and he hauls that one in at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
well, whenever Tedder played at the academy, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the team leaders on interceptions. You know, he just sort of floated back in the secondary, and anything threw his way, he jumped in the air, dove for it, slid for it, any safe form or fashion, he could catch it.
First and goal to go at the 3 for the Rams. They've silenced the Weir crowd here. If they can get in the end zone here, it would be huge. They give it to Mims, and Mims straight ahead. He's got it. Touchdown, Jason Mims behind the left guard. And the Rams have scored again, and they're right back into this football game. A 3-yard touchdown run for Jason Mims has cut the lead now to 7.
And Don, like I said, you know, you can never count out a team like Vardaman. You said it best, you know, we've seen them put up a lot of points in football games, and you know, really, a half is a half. You know, you can come out and dominate the first half, not do anything in the second half, still lose a ball game.
Yeah, I don't think nobody will argue the fact that they played terrible in the first half, giving up 2 big plays on defense that cost them a 76-yard pass for a touchdown, a 91-yard touchdown run, an interception that turned into a touchdown. Weir hasn't sustained any drives tonight, Adam, as far as going down the field for a long time. You know, it's been big plays that they were able to pull off in the first half. Now Vardaman has come back here in the second half, regained some momentum, very much in this football game.
Absolutely, you know, like sort of flip-flop ways I expected them to play. You know, I figured Weir would come out, sort of chip away at this Vardaman defense, but really they come out and got a huge play off the interception. They got a big run, sort of a little quick hit run for 91 yards, and then, you know, Vardaman's now taking, I guess, reversing roles, taking it as they come, connecting on some big passes, getting the fumble, but now we're starting to see Vardaman that we're used to seeing.
You hate to have to use a timeout on the extra point here, but that's what happened. This is a big extra point. You could cut it to 6, where a touchdown could tie it, an extra point could give you the lead. Weir is offsides, is about as offsides as you can get, unless they were drawn off. About 3 guys came leaping over the pile. Looked like they were in a track event, the 440 hurdles. And now Rams may decide to go for 2 because they're going to get it half the distance. It should be down about the 1.5-yard line.
Well, Don, when you're down at the 1.5-yard line, there's no doubt what you do. You take and give this one to Mims and let him go for 2, because, I mean, that could be a huge situation there. But then again, you got to look also the defense you're running against. But I'd say go for 2 here, because simple fact that the first time they tried the point after attempt, that Weir just had about 4 or 5 guys back there to block it.
Looks like they're going to continue to go for 1. Guerrero is still on the field. Coach Bray wants to get within 6 to where a touchdown extra point could give him the lead. Guerrero has been pretty consistent this year. Like you said, they did get penetration the first time and blocked it. They're trying to do it again. He gets it off this time, a line drive kick, but it's good. Wasn't pretty, but effective. And so the Rams now, with 1:51 remaining in the third quarter of play, they've gotten right back in it. Their fans on their feet across the way as you see them. The score, Weir 19, Vardaman 13. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. We're back, everyone, and we've got an electric atmosphere now here in Weir. What looked like could have been on the verge of a Weir rout there in the first half. They were up 19-0 at halftime. Everything was going their way, but Vardaman came out of the locker room focused and ready to play some football, and now they've cut it to 19-13. Here's the kickoff angle to the far side. That's a good kick, taken at the 15-yard line by Hoskins. Hoskins is hit. He's hit again and dropped at the 23-yard line. Good coverage by the Rams special teams unit. So Weir will have it 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Well, Don, this is a totally different Vardaman team than we saw in the first half. We talked about it earlier, and Vardaman right now is actually playing with some life. And I believe we have a flag on the play.
Weir is shooting themselves in the foot with some penalties here in the second half, and they're going to back them on up.
That's a 10-yarder. I didn't really see what it was.
So they'll be pinned deep in their own end. Holding, yeah. All the way back to the 14. So now what the Rams have to do is keep Weir from making a big play and getting the momentum back here.
You know, Don, that's one thing you cannot do against this Ram football team coached by Coach Bray, you know. you don't want to make mistakes to help them out, and that's what they've done so far here in the second half.
Power I formation now with Coleman the tailback. They fumbled again. It's loose, and they're fighting for it down there. Weir got it back.
That's the second snap in a row they fumbled there, Don.
Dosher recovered that one. They actually end up gaining a yard on the play, as it'll be Hoskins who fumbled the snap at the 15-yard line. So we'll give Hoskins a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from the gain of, the ball was at the 13.
So they're giving him credit for a gain of 2.
Yeah, gain of 2.
That's a nice spot there. But Don, looking on the sidelines there, you see Weir's coaching staff trying to calm down the quarterback. Because, you know, he had a pretty easy first half. You know, you got to think it's a lot easier to play them. But when you got the pressure against you, you know, that's when you got to turn it up and play.
Here's the give to Coleman, and he's drilled. Coleman was just introduced. That time to 56 for the Rams, that being Preston McGregor. McGregor, a sophomore, 200-pounder, came through that time and introduced himself.
I think he might have put an extra 15 pounds on that hit there, Don. Probably about a 215-pound lick there. That was a huge lick, especially right now with this Vardaman defense. You know, they see a guy do that, everybody else is going to get pumped up rather, as if they hit him.
Loss of 1 for Coleman, 3rd down and 9. Big play coming up right here. Momentum has shifted to where players are shaking their heads. I formation, Hoskins on the option. He pulls it out, he's gonna keep it, he's got running room, he's got the 1st down into the open out to the 37-yard line. And they're gonna call a late hit, another bad call. The guy is running in out of control and hits the guy with his leg as he goes by, and they call a late hit.
I guess they're trying to make a makeup call for the last time when they waved it off.
So that'll be a tough one. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run from the 37. It's a gain of 22 for Hoskins. And it'll knock another 15 on that, and it'll move it into Vardaman territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, Don, you got to think that's just for the simple fact of having an over-aggressive defense. Officials know these guys for Vardaman are very aggressive. And if they see you come in flying anywhere near the guy, they're going to throw the flag. That's been the case. We saw it against Calhoun City. You know, Vardaman got whistled for a couple of late hits, and that's been at least the 2nd one tonight.
You know, you come flying at the play to make a tackle, and you hit the guy with your leg as you go by, and you get a penalty. That's a terrible call. That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. We've got a good football game here for you. We're on the move, now at the Vardaman 48-yard line. Your score, Weir 19, Vardaman 13. We'll take a break and be back with more football here from Weir. 1A playoffs here tonight on TV7. Back in a moment. We're back here as we start the 4th quarter. The Rams now with 42 yards of rushing offense, 140 passing for a total of 182 yards. We'll give you Weir in just a second. Hoskins back to throw. Deep, takes a deep drop. He's being chased by Tedder. Gets away, now rolls back, gets a pretty good block. Gets another good block here on the sideline. Now throws down, got a man all alone out there. It's Dosher. 20, 15, 10, touchdown. Nobody stayed with Dosher. And there's a flag on the play, so hold everything.
That is going to be against Weir.
So they're going to call it back.
I'll tell you what, Don, when you got a quarterback like that right there that can run and just check and scramble like that, you've got to tell your secondary, say, look, I don't care what the deal is. If your guy goes to the bathroom, go with him, because, I mean, no matter of fact, just when you have a dangerous quarterback like that can run, you're going to have plays that end up like that.
Yeah, you got to stay with your receivers all the way. That had to be an illegal man downfield, I would think. I never saw the signal.
It's a 5-yarder. That is it. Yeah. Illegal man downfield. Which, you know, in those situations there, that's just a unintentional mistake.
Actually, Adam, that's a 4-yarder. Now they're going to call it in. Let's see. Now they're going to correct it, I think.
There it is.
He'll take a 1 step back, and it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, as we thought it was. We hadn't heard of any new 4-yard penalties.
Well, when we played Montrose, Arkansas, at Arkansas, I saw a 7-yard penalty. The official stepped off 7 yards on a 5-yard penalty.
Option play here. Hoskins on the keeper. Great job by Caleb Tedder. Tedder that time, he read it perfectly. He wasn't fooled by the fake handoff, and he grabbed Hoskins and threw him down for a loss back at the 45-yard line, a loss of 2 on the play.
You know, Don, that would have been a huge play there for Weir. You know, that probably just really would have taken everything out of Vardaman that they've rebuilt to get here. But with that, you know, with the penalty called it back, just gives another shot in the arm for Vardaman, especially after that stop by Tedder.
Stats through the third quarter for Weir: they had 176 yards rushing, 76 passing for 252 total offense. There's that slant play and a great breakup that time by the cornerback for the Rams, number 5, Josh Hamilton, who broke it up. They tried to come back with that same play they scored on earlier. This time the pass was a little bit behind the receiver, and good job by Hamilton to be right on it. Incomplete pass.
Well, Hamilton did a good job that time. If you notice, when he wrapped up his backside arm so he couldn't get a really good grip on the football, and really speared him that time and slammed him to the ground, sort of Goldberg-ish, I guess you could say.
3rd down and 17. Big play right here for the Rams. Hoskins on the quarterback draw is going to be sacked. Coming through that time was Shane Burkeen again. Burkeen's had a huge game tonight. Only a freshman. And he drops Hoskins for a loss back to the 41, a loss of 4.
I'll tell you what, give him every bit of credit. You know, you keep saying he's a freshman. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, he's playing football, no big deal. But a freshman to have this type of a ball game in the playoff situation, it's huge.
Dropping back is Harden and Berry to return the kicks. Snaps a good one. Dosher gets off another good punt. Rams are going to let it bounce, and it takes a sideways bounce, and it'll be dead at the 27-yard line. So the Rams will go back on offense from their own 27-yard line, trailing now 19-13, in which the whole first half was dominated by the big plays of Weir. Vardaman's come out of the locker room, though, and have gotten right back into this football game. And now you look up at the clock, 10-10 remaining in the ball game. Plenty of time to get down the field, put some points on the board.
Absolutely, and as you said here, this is starting like a lot like last year's football game.
Exactly right. I believe last year the game was tied at one point. The Rams had a great drive to go down the field. Draw play coming up to the tailback, and nowhere to go for Tony Shaw. He took a couple of hard licks and is going to be dropped at the 27. They're going to give him progress back to the line of scrimmage, I think.
You know, I said this last week, Don, the play that Vardaman has that could really kill an aggressive offense is that little pitch out halfback pass, except this time throw it across field, because if you look now, the way the defense is set, you know, they're just running everybody to the football, leaving one guy back. Vardaman at that time had 2 guys on the backside of the field, 2 versus 1. The odds are in your favor.
Injured player on the field for the Rams. And with the injury, let's take a timeout. 9:41 to go in the ball game. The Lions 19, the Rams 13. We'll be back in just a moment. We're back, and the Rams now 2nd down and 10 from the 27-yard line. West back to throw, a little backing up now. He's being chased, nobody open, throws it out to flat. It's complete, and it's going to be a loss on the play, though, back to the 26-yard line. He was able to hit Andrew Berry, but Berry ends up losing a yard back to the 26. So it'll be 3rd and 11 now facing the Rams.
So possession play here, Don, and you got to think, you know, as you said, they've had 139 yards passing tonight. Don't abandon the pass. We'll see where they're going here. You know, they did a good job passing so far, but they need to keep those deep routes to keep the Weir defense honest.
Third and 11 from the 26, taking a long time coming out of the huddle. Mims having to get his helmet adjusted. And now the Rams are going to have to burn another timeout.
Well, Don, every time Weir tonight has had to adjust their helmets, the officials are called a timeout for them and not running any Weir timeouts. But Vardaman, I guess, you know, that's the favor of being Weir.
We'll take another timeout here as we're at the 8:34 mark of the 4th quarter. Weir 19, Vardaman 13. Back in a bit. 3rd down and 11 now facing the Rams. Big play coming up right here. West out of the shotgun. West back to throw. West throws down the middle, a wobbly pass up for grabs, and it is going to be incomplete. He tried to hit Andrew Berry across the middle. Shaw was also in the neighborhood, but Hoskins came across to knock it down, and the Rams are going to have to punt.
Well, out there is what Weir wanted to see out of their defense. Just find some way to slow up this Vardaman offense. They've really been on a roll here so far in the second half.
West now 9 out of 12 for 139 yards passing. He's had a pretty good night, but a little bit too much air up under that one allowed Hoskins to come across and knock it away. Long, who's had a great night punting the football, gets it away. This one is going to take another nice roll, picked up by Hoskins. Hoskins is dropped, though, by Melvin Pierce. Good coverage by Melvin Pierce, who was right down there. The ball took a nice friendly roll for the Rams. Hoskins tried to pick it up to keep it from rolling any further, but Pierce was right there to get him. Dropped him at the 28-yard line, so good punt. And now the Rams need for their defense to step it up one more time.
Well, that's a good job by Weir, Don, to stop that one, because the way it was rolling, it had momentum enough to take and roll deep, probably with close to near the 10-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Lions at the 28-yard line. High formation here behind Hoskins. They give it to the fullback, Dosher. He spins off one, nowhere to go. Stacked up at the 29-yard line, maybe a yard on the play for Charles Dosher. 2nd down and 9 coming up here for the Lions.
That's number 56 on the tackle that time for Vardaman. He sort of just wrapped around him that time and just held on to him. But right now, Vardaman's defense, Don, is just really the whole team. And Vardaman's a whole different team. It's a Vardaman team we're used to seeing.
Another good play by Preston McGregor, as you said, number 56. 2nd down and 9 from the Weir 29-yard line. They run the option. Hoskins going to keep it. There's Tedder again, and they got him again. They surround him and drop him back at the 22-yard line. Hoskins lost 7 yards. And Caleb Tedder is playing a great defensive end. He is not biting on that handoff up the middle. And Hoskins, he's staying right with Hoskins as he should and making the open field tackles on what is a very quick quarterback.
Absolutely. I mean, credit Tedder there. You know, you got Coach Bray saying, listen, this is your job. Don't worry about if he does anything else. You know, if he does it and you do your job, it's not your fault. And that's a good job about coaching there. You know, you tell a guy, listen, just do your job and you execute. That's the key part of football, and Tedder's doing it tonight.
3rd down and long, and now Weir is going to take a timeout. They let the clock run down as far as they could. Took a timeout. It'll be 3rd and 16 when we come back from the Weir 22. It is the Lions 19, the Rams 13. Back in a moment. Big play coming up right here on 3rd and 16, and Weir is going to keep it on the ground, and it's going to be a big opening, and he is dropped at the 32-yard line. A good open field tackle, and it'll be short of the 1st down. Weir not taking any chances putting the ball in the air, and so they're going to have to punt. And their punter, Adam, is over here on the sideline getting treatment. So now Weir's got to come up with a different punter. Dosher's over here getting some treatment to his ankle. And so this could be a factor. You know, Dosher's been punting the ball well tonight, and now they're going to have to come in with Parrish, number 13, to kick it away.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a huge factor right there. You know, we saw that was a deciding factor at the College City Vardaman ball game when he had a 1-yard punt. We'll see how well he does here.
And the punt is nearly blocked. He got off a good one, though. Can't beat that. Harden with a fair catch at the 36-yard line. That was a good punt by Parrish. 34 yards, no return. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 36-yard line. You can't ask for anything more than this. 6:03 to go in the ball game. Rams with the football with a chance to come back and win this game.
Absolutely. And Don, give credit to both punters, Vardaman and Weir's side. Even with the one that just checked in the ball game there, both of them have done great jobs tonight. And I'm not sure if any of them's had a chance to return them yet.
We've seen some good punters, as you said, on both sides of the football here tonight. See what the Rams come out here on 1st down. I formation, Mims in the backfield along with Tony Shaw. Horton is not able to go at all here in the 2nd half, pretty much. Quick pass over the middle is complete. That is Jonathan Denley out to the 50-yard line. Excellent play call coming out of the timeout, or coming out of the change of possessions by Coach Bray. And it's a pickup of 14 yards to Jonathan Denley.
And did you see the death grip he had on the football as I zoomed in there? I don't think you would have been able to go down there, Don, and pry that ball out of his hands.
1st and 10 Rams at the 50. We talked all the way down here and before the game and in through the game that we thought the Rams could throw the ball on Weir, and so far tonight they've been able to do so. Good protection for West. West has a man open out there. It's caught by Horton. John Horton went up in the air and brought it in at the 23-yard line of Weir. Excellent catch by John Horton, the senior. They're going to mark him down at the 23. A gain on the play of 27 yards.
And Vardaman needs to be careful. You know, they're happy he made the pass, but we've seen some, I guess you say, taunting or excessive celebration penalties already twice called against Vardaman. So, you know, give him 5 and get back to the huddle.
What a throw by Brian West, too. He gunned it in there. 1st and 10 now at the Weir. 23, shotgun, West. Back to throw, gets a block. Looking right, he throws out the flat. It's complete to Berry, and Berry is inside the 10-yard line. He'll be marked down at the 10, where it'll be 1st and goal to go Rams. 13 yards on the reception from Brian West to Andrew Berry, and it's 1st and goal to go Rams.
Well, this is my type of football right here, Don. Taking to spread the guys out, run your quarterback out on a little out route or a little curl and let him sit there and see if there's a guy open. If not, tuck it under and run. And right now, West is doing a great job of making decisions and throwing the ball.
West is showing some poise back there for a sophomore. He showed poise last year as a freshman. 2nd down, 1st and goal at the 10. They give it to Horton, who's back in. Horton sweeping to the left, has one man to beat to get the outside. He beat him, he broke a tackle, and he is bumped out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. Horton that time.
He's got to come out, Don. He's hurting bad. He's saying he's wanting the football.
He's showing some heart right here, coming in with a hurt ankle and still able to do what it took to get to the outside and beat a good athlete in Keldrick Dosher to the outside and get it down to the 2 is where they mark it, I think. Or no, actually they are going to put it on the 1-yard line. 2nd down and goal at the 1, a pickup of 9 for Greg Horton.
Well, Don, after that big play there by Horton, you know Ware's got to say, hey, Horton's back in the ball game. He can run the ball. Use him as a decoy. You know, play action, little turnaround pass out to your tight end to the flats in for the touchdown.
I've got to give it to Mr. Mims right here. The way he's pounded the ball tonight. Now Vardaman, I think, is going to have to take their final timeout of the night. Coach Bray is not happy as the Rams have to burn their final timeout. But I tell you, you don't want to make a mistake in this situation. You don't want to get a 5-yard penalty, so it's better to use that timeout than to take a chance here. 4:52 to go in the ball game, and I think these Weir fans are stunned right now as the Rams have come roaring back in this football game, and they're only 1 yard away from a chance at least to take the lead. They can tie it and take the lead with an extra point.
Yeah, that's what hurts you when you play a team like Vardaman. You know, you score 19 points against them in the first half. You know, that's got to make you pumped up, and going into the halftime. But you got to let your guys know, say, listen, this is Vardaman football here, son, and that they're going to come out. They can put up 70 points in the ball game. That means they can put up at least 35 and a half, if not more than that. So you've got to come out and play quarter 2 like you did quarter 1, because you can never let down against a team like Vardaman.
Yeah, Weir, I think, went into the locker room and pretty confident. They thought this was going to be a walkaway, and Rams came out second half a totally different team. And now they have a chance here. 2nd down and goal at the 1. We'll see what they do here. Power I formation. Horton is in the game behind Shaw and Mims, and there's some communication problems. West is going to be hit and dropped for a loss. Terrible time for that to happen coming out of a timeout, for that to be a misread in the backfield, and it's going to be a loss on the play.
And then I think they was going to what you said, give it to Mims when they pounded in, and I guess West turned the wrong way and Mims went the wrong way. As you said, a miscommunication. And as here we go again, I believe it is 2nd down and goal to go.
Should be 3rd down, I think. 3rd down.
Now they have switched the sign.
At the 2, yeah. Give it to Mims off the left side. He's into the end zone. Jason Mims. That's what I'm talking about. Mims from the 2-yard line pounds it in off the left side to put the Rams into a tie now. 19-19 with 4:11 to go.
And the way Mills come off the field said it best for Vardaman fans, Vardaman players, and everything. This is a you can't call it unbelievable because I mean you can expect this out of a team like Vardaman, but this is simply amazing. The simple fact that how they've come back and just really turned this ball game around the second half.
Jose Guerrero with his biggest extra point of his career coming up right here. A chance to put the Rams on top. Weir is offsides. Kick is no good, but it won't matter. They're offsides. They're trying to get through there and block it, trying to anticipate the snap. And instead, that's twice that's happened tonight. They have come across and they're offsides, and it will be half the distance. Make it a little bit closer for Guerrero. Four minutes and 11 seconds to go. A lot of time in this game where could still get the football back, of course, and have some time to get down the field. But right now, of course, this extra point has to be made or it won't matter. They can take their time. Extra point is up, and it is good. Jose Guerrero nails it. And with 4:11 remaining in the football game, the Vardaman Rams have stunned the home-standing crowd, and they lead Weir now by the score of 20-19. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back for this exciting finish from Weir High School right after this. Look at the Ram crowd across the way. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, as we've got an exciting 1A football here tonight in the first round of the playoffs. Last year, this was our game of the year on our year-end coaches show. It may be again. Here's the kickoff to the near side. Hoskins is going to take it, not the man you want to kick it to, really. Hoskins breaks the tackle, still on his feet to the 35, and he gets it out to the 43-yard line. So Weir is going to have good field position to open this drive. Down by one, but remember, they only need a field goal to win it. A field goal could win it, so you don't have to think touchdown necessarily if you're Weir in this situation.
But if you're Weir, you got to think something else. Rather, let me try to get this out again, start over. You got to be thinking move the ball rather than stay stationary like they have here. You got to think of some way you can get past this Vardaman defense. You might think they might have to start airing the ball out a little bit more than they want to. And as we said, they're probably a 90% run team and barely a 10% pass team.
First and 10 for the Lions at the 43-yard line. Vardaman is out of timeouts. Give us to the tailback, and he is going to be up to the 50-yard line. That's number 21 again. I think we looked at halftime. I believe his name is Poet. That's what we'll call him anyway, Adam.
That sounds good. I'm pretty sure, you know, that not many people in the Calhoun area know much about this Weir team.
We saw his name at halftime. He wasn't in the program, but I think it's Poet, so a pickup of 7. It'll be second down and 3 from the 50.
We'll put it this way, it's trying to read Bill's right compared to the right we tried to read.
Here's the give to Poet again. He's into the open again inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains, and that brings a Weir crowd back to their feet. Everybody is standing now. Nobody is sitting down. It'll be first and 10 at the Vardaman 37. 3:20 to go in the ball game. I formation. Hoskins under center. Hoskins going to give it to him again, and this time he drives his way to the 34. Gain of 3 for Poet. Where's this guy been all night? All of a sudden, he comes in fresh here on the fourth quarter drive and looking pretty good. 3 carries now for 23 yards so far. Weir quickly up to the line. Second down and 7. Second and 7. Hoskins gives it to Poet. Poet is going to be stuffed. Good pursuit that time by the Ram defensive front. They came up, and who else coming up out of the bottom of the pile other than Shane Burkeen?
Tell you what, Don, you talked about him earlier. You got to give this kid every bit of credit. A freshman playing this great in the playoffs, you can't ask for much more.
We'll have our post-game show at the conclusion of this one. Third down and 6. They give it to Poet, sweeping in the right. He is going to be dropped again, and Jason Mims came up to make the hit. Jason Mims made a huge hit, number 34, only a junior. And he came up and made the stick that time at the 33-yard line, no gain on the play.
And in case you're wondering at home, Jason Mills was that white streak that come across the screen. He had every bit of momentum built up, and he unleashed it that time on Poet.
Ware's going to have to take a timeout here on 4th down and 6 at the Vardaman 33 with only 1:48 to go. And Adam, it basically comes down, if Vardaman can hold them right here, they can pretty much wrap this game up, you would think, as long as they can protect the football, not fumble it away with only 1:48 to go. Weir is already exhausted, I believe, all 3 of their timeouts.
Absolutely. Right now, if you're Vardaman trying to figure out what Weir's going to do, we saw him run the ball on just about every 3rd down possession. But this is a 4th down and 6, this type of ball game. You got to think they're going to air it out. But no, this is a total guessing game here. And right now, as you said, Don, whoever wants it the most, offense or defense, is going to win this game on this possession alone.
4th down and 6. Both crowds are on their feet. Offset eye to the right. Poet the tailback behind Hoskins. Hoskins back to throw. He rolls to his left. Hoskins looking, throws over the middle. It's complete to the 22-yard line for a 1st down, as he was able to connect that time with Eric Hoskins to the 22-yard line. That's a gain on the play of 12 yards and a 1st down.
That's a tough one to take right there, Don. You had them where you want them on 4th down possession, but like I said, with a quarterback like that, he's got that kind of great speed, you got to respect the run, and then you also, after that, you got to respect his arm. And as we said, we've got a 1.5 minutes to go here in the ball game.
1st and 10 at the 22. Hoskins to throw again. Throws out to the sidelines, complete again to Eric Hoskins to the 15-yard line, a gain of 7. I don't think he got out of bounds, did he?
No, he didn't.
No, the clock is still running. A gain of 7 to the 15-yard line.
Vardaman's got to turn around. They're going to a no huddle. Don, they're picking on John Harden here, throwing to him just about every time, but you don't want to pick on a player like that because he will make you pay.
I tell you what, Adam, that was a spike, but he actually threw that ball behind the line of scrimmage. He turned and spiked it into the ground backwards.
That should be a live
That
ball.
ought to be a fumble. Absolutely. He turned and threw the ball backwards toward the other end of the field, which you can't have a forward pass when you throw it backwards. That should have been a lateral. Should have been a live ball.
Don, we've got just under 1 minute, 59 seconds to go here, and this is huge.
3rd down and 3. Hoskins hands it off to Poet. Poet dives to the 13. I don't think he got it, and they can't stop the clock here because it's not a 1st down. 48 seconds to go. It'll be a gain of 2, and now they are going to stop it to measure, I guess. No, Weir did have one more timeout. I'm sorry. I thought they had used up their timeouts, but they did have 1 timeout remaining.
Well,
and Weir was forced to take it.
All right, Don, you think about this situation here. If you do make the tackle on the ground, you got to not want to get the late hit, but pile on as much as you can. And tell the guys to get up like a granny, getting out of their bed, take your dearly forgiven time to get off the guy and let as much time run off the clock as possible.
Of course, the clock will stop, though, if it's a 1st down while they move the chains. So that'll give Weir a chance to get back up on the line.
It looks like they're getting their field goal kicker ready. I see a guy putting a strap on his foot.
45 seconds to go. It could come down to that.
I guess they're going ahead and putting a strap on. Now they're going to try it here on 3rd down.
They're going to try the field goal right here. Number 13, Fred Parrish. Vardaman doesn't have any more timeouts. If they did, I think they would probably take one right here, try to ice the kicker, but this will be a 30-yard attempt. This is your ball game. He'll be kicking from the left hash mark. 30-yard field goal attempt. Snap is good, the kick is up, and the kick is good. No good. He missed it wide left. The crowd reacted as if it was good. I thought it was good, and they went wide left, no good. And Vardaman is going to win this football game. 39 seconds to go. Parrish had plenty of distance, and he just missed it, just a hair to the left. Oh, my goodness.
No, I'll tell you, you cannot get any closer than that for missing that one. I'm talking about if the wind would have blew funny, or if he was sitting on this thing right here and let it lean a little bit more that way, he would have made that one. I mean, you had the distance, had the height, had everything, just missed it right, or left rather. But now it's up to Vardaman to hold on to that football.
Yeah, I jumped the gun because everybody in the Weir stands jumped up as if it was good, celebrating. But instead, it was no good, and West is going to take a knee, and the Vardaman Rams are going to advance in the 1A playoffs. Here tonight, we're going to be heading down to the field here for our post-game show. A stunning comeback tonight by the Rams. They can run one more play, and that should do it. And Vardaman, for the second year in a row, has eliminated the Weir Lions. You got to love it.
What can you say, Doug? I mean, second half was totally different off Vardaman team. And they're going to take probably a delay of game penalty here. This one's going to run down 2 seconds, 1 second. What a ball game. And I think right now you look at number 8 on the field for Weir, and that says it best.
The Vardaman Rams have done it again in dramatic fashion, and they have advanced to the second round in the 1A playoffs with a 20-19 victory over the Weir Lions. We'll take a break, and we will come back with our post-game show. We'll talk to head coach Mark Bray, and we'll also tell you about our player of the game. But first, let's take a timeout. Vardaman wins it over Weir 20-19. Back in a moment.